Spiritual Teaching 131. Love each other. 1. On this day, when the bells are raised to announce to the world that glory has been opened to receive Christ, I tell you that these traditions have passed for you. Now it is your turn to recollect, instead of the hubbub, the remembrance and meditation, instead of loud displays of joy. What would it be if the disciples of the Holy Spirit materialized the divine teachings? 2. The Spirit is life, and therefore it will never cease to be. It is necessary that to you I am known perfectly, so that he may dwell on high. You have evolved. Proof of this is that you unintentionally turn away from the images or symbols with which men try to represent me, because you already conceive me as divine, infinite and omnipotent spirit, and not to look at me limited. You have finally come to understand that there is no better offering before your God than that of your good works. 3. Did I tell you that I would rise from the dead on the third day? Well, with this I spoke also figuratively of future events. Here I am in spirit at the beginning of the third day, communicating by human understanding. And I have also come to the dead to spiritual life. Through this communication announced and promised in other times, you have heard that ornaments or ceremonies are useless. What then? You should clothe your spirit with purity. You have already understood that being clean and adorned on the outside without having the heart cleansed, it means a deception that does not go unnoticed before the Father. 4. Man, your brother, you can impress and even deceive, but not me, because my insightful gaze discovers and judges everything. Furthermore, in this time of great spiritual light, you will see men reject all that is called hypocrisy. I prepare you so that you do not allow yourself to be surprised by anyone, or to surprise your brothers. 5. If a man appears claiming to be Christ incarnate again, do not believe them, because when he announced that he would return, I gave you to understand that it would be in spirit. If someone says to you, I am the one sent by God, distrust him, because the true emissaries do not boast or proclaim the mission that I entrust to them. They only give proof with their works. To men it corresponds to say that the tree will be recognized by its fruits. 6. I do not forbid you to taste the fruits of the trees, but it is necessary that you are prepared so that you know how to distinguish the good fruit from bad. 7. To those who love the truth, I will make lamps to light the path of their brothers. 8. I come looking for your spirit, that being invisible to your eyes, for whom I became man and shed my blood in that time, to teach him to fulfill his mission. 9. Do not be afraid to meet in your path men who deny my presence in this form. They are blind who have no light yet in their spirit. At that time they also denied me, and when they saw my wonders, they had to proclaim that Jesus was the promised Savior. 10. You will see at this time those who have denied me, contrite and sorrowful before you, without finding words to confess that this doctrine has come from God. 11. On this day, when crowds run with great excitement to their churches to celebrate the moment when the glory opened to receive me, I tell you that all this is just a tradition to impress the heart of humanity. They are only rites that today materialize my divine passion. 12. Do not continue in that trend, erecting altars and symbols. Do not make representations of sacred events, or wear special dresses to distinguish yourself, because all that is idolatrous worship. 13. Invoke me with your heart. Remember my teaching and imitate my examples. Offer me the tribute of your amendment, and you will feel how the gates of glory open to welcome you. 14. Believe that, just as Jesus rose from the dead on the third day, today in the third era, I have risen again from among men, dead to faith and grace, to come and teach you through human understanding the beauties of spiritual life. 15. To the crowds that listen to me I ask, Why do you cover yourself with tunics and ornaments and don't dress better? Is your spirit of purity? I only want to contemplate in you that clothing. 16. Flee from the false and profane representations that are made of me in my passion, because no one will be able to represent me. Live my examples and teachings. Whoever does so will have represented your master on earth. 17. While some burn frankincense and myrrh as an offering to my divinity, I teach you to offer me the essence of your heart, the perfume of your spirit. That spiritual offering is what I want from you. 18. In this dawn of grace, humanity commemorates the third day, in which Jesus rose to comfort his apostles and crossed the threshold of death to visit the needy in spirit. Remember that I have said, I am the great shepherd. Those missions are also carried out by you. Who but a shepherd is he who can guide the spirits and lead the peoples? And the parent who cultivates hearts or the teacher that guides the minds, are they not farmers? 19. Each one has been assigned a portion to be guided or cultivated, and that mission is not finished with material death. The spirit, on earth as well as in the spiritual world, continues to sow, cultivate, and harvest. The greater spirits are those that guide the lesser ones, and these in turn to others in less degree of development, the Lord being the one who leads them all to the full. 20. If I have told you that the older spirits guide the younger ones, I do not mean to say that those spirits have been great from the beginning, and that the latter must always be small before their brothers. Those that now are great, it is because they have risen and developed in the fulfillment of the noble mission of loving, serve and help those who have not reached that degree of spiritual evolution, those who are still weak, those who have been lost, and those who suffer. 21. Those who are small today will be great tomorrow through their perseverance on the path of evolution. 22. The scale of spiritual improvement that Jacob saw figured in his prophetic dream is the one that begins at the world and ends in heaven, which begins in the material world and ends in the perfection of spiritual life. 23. You will not abandon your children, your disciples, your peoples, even with death, because the distance between one world and another is only apparent. From the spiritual valley you can continue to care, guide, and cultivating your portion, and many times you will be able to execute works so great that on earth you would have judged impossible. 24. Blessed is the path of your spirit, which makes you know every day the love of your Father with more clarity and teaches you to understand the greatness of his works. 25. After these teachings, is it possible for someone to continue waiting for death to come to free them from their cross? Or will there be someone who is afraid that it will come to take away his sowing, is lost? 26. Everything lives in me. Everything in me is eternal. Nothing. 27. In this era I come to visit you in your abode, because if you seek me, I also seek you. I want to talk with you. Let me penetrate to the bottom of your heart, and do not try to hide your sorrows or your faults from me. 28. Try to listen to me in silence. Raise your spirit towards mine, and soon you will hear my voice, speaking to you in a language that had never been heard by you, and which you will be able to understand, as if you had always been listening to it. 29. You should not be surprised by it, because you should understand that I am the universal word. I speak to consciences. I speak to hearts, spirits, reason, and the senses. I speak in all beings. My voice never ceases. 30. Learn to listen to me and analyze my lessons. Remember that I told you that whoever drinks the water of my word, you will never be thirsty again. I have poured my wisdom over everything that exists so that you can collect it throughout your journey. 31. Even if there were no religions in the world, it would be enough for you to concentrate in the depths of your being to find my presence in your inner temple. I also tell you that it would be enough to observe how much life offers you, for you to find in it the book of knowledge, which at every step shows you its most beautiful pages and its most profound lessons. 32. You will understand then that it is not fair for the world to go astray when it carries the path in its spirit, nor to confuse in the darkness of ignorance dwelling among so much light. 33. I have not come to judge you for the sole purpose of passing a sentence for every sinner. I have come to judge you, not without before offering you a new opportunity to free your spirit from all its faults. 34. I am calling everyone, because I want to see myself surrounded by that great family that for me is humanity, in which I have deposited so many pleasures and tenderness, to the point of making him my son. 35. You, who have had the opportunity to listen to me in this way, know that you have arrived at the right time. Neither I came before or after the right time, nor have you arrived too late or too early. This is the time that had been promised to your spirit from distant times, so that in it would receive the continuation of a lesson begun in earlier ages. 36. You could not return to me without first having tasted all the fruits of life and having delighted yourself with all the pleasures. You are living on earth, and you have to use natural things to live. But as all things are found under a law, take them within that same law. Thus you will give to the Spirit what is his, and to your body what belongs to him. I forbid you nothing, because no one contradicts my divine designs. How few are the beings who have known how to remain faithful and clean beside the Father. They have only done my will. But you, who have repeated many times in your prayers, let your will be done, Lord, on earth as in heaven. It is not so, that you have always acted according to your own will, forgetting my will, which is imperfect. You have made so many mistakes that now you are paying with great bitterness, illnesses and miseries. When you stop doing your will, to submit to a divine authority that governs everything with wisdom and justice, then you will stop making mistakes and suffering because of them. 37. Pray, seeking the solitude and silence of your inner sanctuary, and in that prayer the senses and powers will emerge today dormant within your being, speaking to you of past teachings and inaccessible future events to your mind. Then you will come to know that you have to finish some work that in previous existences you have left unfinished. In this time is when the man will begin to know himself spiritually. You are already at the door of the sanctuary, where you will find the explanation of all the mysteries that have surrounded him so far without being able to explain them. But, alas, of those who, despite my constant calls, are deaf or insensitive to the voice that incessantly knocks on the doors of their heart, because it will be in them boredom and sadness hitherto never imagined. 38. Oh, women of this town who are listening to my word and who moves you to the depths and nobility of your heart, watch over yours. Keep the flame of faith burning in them. Cultivate virtue, peace, and brotherhood. I am writing to you because your heart is more sensitive to my word, even if your spirit is equal to that of all humanity. 39. I want to make of all of you the beloved disciples who learn to correct without hurting or judging anyone. Those who know how to heal a wound without making it bleed, who know how to forgive without causing humiliation. When you are ready, I will send you to the nations as counselors, as emissaries of peace, as heralds of this good news, as were the disciples of whom has taught you so much. But you must not forget that the only one who can give is the Father, and he is the only one who can restore to the Spirit all that has been lost. 40. After 1950, when my manifestation in this form ceases, I will not leave you alone. I will continue to be present in another form, in a more subtle way. And if you really manage to watch over the teachings that I have entrusted to you and you become spiritualized, you will feel my presence closer. If you have faith, you will see me with your spiritual gaze. And if you come to unite as brothers in my work, The multitudes will come to you, as they have come in this time in which I have communicated through the spokesman. 41. No one will be able to pluck this seed from your heart, because it will pass from one generation to another. 42. There will be fighting. The wicked and hypocrites will point you out and persecute you for going after this trail. But nothing can make this people to go back, because this seed, sown by me in your heart, will arise in times of trial, giving a word of light on the lips of your children. 43. Just as Christianity managed to make my lessons of love known in the times when it was difficult for men to feel the love of one another, in this time spiritualism will fight in a time when the materialism has petrified the heart of humanity. And if in those times the word of Christ moved the lives of men to its foundations, now this light will also make their most sensitive fibers tremble. There will be times when apparently my seed will have disappeared, but it will prevail and persist among all events on earth. 44. If some manage to hide my truth, others will be in charge of making it known. If the parents are silent, the children will speak. My word will flow from the lips of my disciples, and testimonies will arise everywhere. But don't pretend to see the fulfillment of everything that I now announce to you. First let the seed germinate, after the plant bears the desired fruit, and still you must let the fruit ripen. Then you will see how it is realized one by one, all my prophecies. Some of you are anxious, others negligent. But I tell you that all of you must be patient and persevering. 45. When you know what it costs to collect a fruit or a seed after having taken care of it and cultivated it, you will have it with true love. That is why I want my seed to pass through your hands, so that you take care of it and grant it all its value. To help you in the fulfillment of your mission, I come to strengthen you for the fight. 46. As divine shepherd, he lovingly led the flock to the fold of my love, which is my bosom for the spirits. 47. Walk, my voice tells you. Do not stay parked on the path. Cherish time as a precious treasure. Take advantage of it in the fulfillment of the duties of your spirit and of your earthly duties. Invest it in everything that which my law commands, and the reward that you achieve will be light and peace for your spirit. 48. For many men of this time their atonement on the face of the earth comes to an end. You who are listening to these revelations and you do not know if you are in the number of those chosen, take advantage until the last moment of your existence. Examine it in the light of your consciousness. Analyze the trials you have to undergo. Pay off all your debts as you are able, and with that preparation you will obtain a pleasant fruit, which will be in your spirit, as soon as it crosses the thresholds of spiritual life. 49. Do not think about death, that the unknown does not constitute an obsession for you. Think about how you will live and stay sure that when you look at the path of the spiritual valley, your spirit will exclaim, rejoiced and surprised. It seems that I have already passed through here. 50. Study and interpret my teachings well, because if you do not do so, you would fall into fanaticism due to the misinterpretation you give to my lessons of spirituality. And this one that is elevation does not admit errors. 51. Live with purity, with humility, simply. Comply with everything that is right within the human. Like this, as with everything that refers to your spirit, remove from your life the superfluous, the artificial, the harmful, and instead, recreate yourself with all that is good in your existence. 52. The path is so flat, and the weight of the cross so light when you have already learned to live that way, that it will seem easy to comply with your mission. But for those who carry heavy loads and drag chains around the world, it seems impossible to take the way of the Lord and follow the footsteps that he traced. 53. See that I am not asking you the impossible. I am not even telling you that you transform your life in an instant. Dematerialize your heart. Strip it of selfishness, and you will be advancing on the path that I traced for you with meekness and love. 54. My servants are not those who with vain words proclaim to serve me, boasting of wisdom or judging the works of his brothers. My servants, my disciples, my soldiers, are those who with a clean life, laborious and useful, they are sowing my light in their path. They are leaving a mark of virtue and of good examples. 55. No one is authorized to judge the works of his brothers, because if he who is clean does not do it, what is he to do who carries stains on his heart? 56. I tell you this, because you are always searching the seed of your brother, hoping to find in him defects, and then show him your sowing, and humiliate him by telling him that your work is cleaner and more perfect. 57. The only judge who knows how to assess your works is your Father who dwells in heaven. When he is present with his balance, he will not have the greatest merit before his eyes who understands more, but who has known how to be brother of his brethren and son of his Lord. 58. It is necessary that my people arise among the nations, setting an example of brotherhood, harmony, charity, and understanding, as a soldier of peace in the midst of those who again take up the divine teachings to quarrel, hurt, and kill themselves. 59. To my children of all conglomerates, churches, and sects, I speak through their conscience. I exhort them to reconciliation and inspire great thoughts of light. But it is essential that you know that I am leaving, through you, a message, which you will have to deliver in my name. 60. You must be humble. You must not care if they offend you. You will be meek. They will make you suffer humiliation and sufferings. But at your word, which will be my message, they will not be able to cast out of his spirit any of what I tell you, that if some will remain insensitive and deaf to your call, others will awaken from their long sleep, and they will rise up to march and guide their lives on the path of regeneration and repentance. 61. Put on courage, faith, and strength, so that you can face the fight. But I warn you, do not be intimidated when you talk to your brother because you see him well dressed or because he is called a prince, lord, or minister. 62. Take the example of Paul and Peter, who raised their voices before those who were called in the world sirs. They were great in spirit, and yet before no one they claimed to be lords, and they did manifest themselves to be servants. Follow his example and bear witness to my truth with the love of your works. My peace be with you.